If you're used to 5 weights, size 14 dry flies, and rivers that you can make your way across in 2 or 3 casts, you'd be a little bit crazy to not be intimidated when you show up to the coast and see that vast ocean and all that salt water in front of you. This is a normal thing for folks making the transition from freshwater to salt. Well, the book that we're talking about today is perhaps one of the best primers and one of the best ways of demythologizing saltwater fly fishing for the fly angler. We'll talk about this book today on Casting Across. Hi, I'm Matthew of castingacross.com, where I explore the quarry and culture of fly fishing. Even though I started fly fishing in Northern Virginia only about an hour and a half or so from some fantastic saltwater fly fishing, the vast majority of my angling for the first 5 or 6 years with a fly rod in hand was done for trout as well as bass. And it wasn't until a buddy of mine said, hey, after we graduate high school, let's go down to Florida and fly fish in the Gulf, that I said, this is something I'm going to start doing. So of course I went out and bought an 8-weight rod. I bought a big bulky reel, big box of flies, had to get the shirt to look the part. This is not that same shirt from 25 years ago, mind you. But then I realized I had no clue what I was doing. Was I just going to walk out into the sand, making casts as long as I could, maybe catching a shark, maybe catching nothing, maybe catching a tarpon, trying not to hook somebody laying out on a towel behind me? And so at that point in time, the internet was still a little bit sketchy. I mean, we were told we don't use this technology for research papers. So I went to the fly shop and I purchased Fly Fishing the Flats by Barry and the late Cathy Beck. Now, this is a wonderful primer, even though it is from 1999 on the topic. It is not a big book. In fact, you're going to find books that are 4 times this length that are only talking about fishing for certain species in the Bahamas. You're going to find books that are significantly longer than this that are talking about fly fishing for stripers in the New England coast. But what this book does is give you, a freshwater angler, the confidence to start exploring and even maybe start fishing straight away in the saltwater fly fishing game. In fact, the subtitle is Making the Transition from Fresh to Salt. And so what it does is it takes that knowledge base that you already have. You know how to cast, you know equipment, you know knots, you know reading the water. And it says these are some of the ways that you can sort of look at the saltwater game with similar eyes, but seeing things that you need to see to be successful. Now, I will say, saltwater fly fishing, I would say more than any other type of fly fishing that I've been involved in, is the kind of angling that almost requires an apprenticeship to start to know really that deeper level of understanding for getting out there and being successful. That said, I think a DIY angler or somebody who just wants to put in the hours can be and will be successful if they are looking in the right places. Because at the end of the day, fish are fish. I mean, they're looking for structure, they're looking for food, they're looking for safety. You add the tides in, it makes things a little bit different. Certainly not something I'm an expert at by any stretch of the imagination, but you can still walk out there, make casts over rocks when the tide's in the right situation, and you're gonna find your way into fish. And the confidence for that is the kind of thing that you'll get with this book. But all that to say, what's in this book? Well, the Becks were known for their photography, and they're also known for their no-nonsense approach for breaking down complicated topics so that they are accessible to anyone, and that's what you're going to get in this book. So again, you're going to get some absolutely fantastic photography of all sorts of different species, of different flies. You're going to get diagrams for knots. You're going to get pictures of, I mean, that is one of the classic images that you've probably seen of Cathy Beck fly fishing. And you're also going to get information on destinations. And so, again, this is going to give you a rough picture of some of the most important topics that you need to know in saltwater fly fishing. There's a little bit of age on it, but it's the kind of thing that there would have been age, 5 years after it was published. So even though we're looking at, 26 or 27 years out, the information by and large is still incredibly pertinent, and the things that have changed are not going to be so different that you're going to be led astray. So if you are a freshwater angler and you are going on vacation, you can still pick this book up, and it's going to give you more information than you're going to find if you are scrolling through blogs, if you're watching YouTube videos, and it's going to give you in a much more concise package. This is the kind of book that is going to give you, again, the vocabulary that as you're talking with your guide, as you are, reading present day fishing reports, it's going to give you that base of knowledge so that you're able to kind of translate that and know what's being talked about. But this is also kind of a modern fly fishing instructional classic. It's worth owning for that reason alone. Have you read Fly Fishing the Flats? Have you benefited from it? Or were you a freshwater angler who was scared by the vastness of the ocean, but this book played a part in your being more comfortable with getting out into the ocean? Let me know in the comments below, and then head over to castingacross.com for 3 posts a week and the people, places, and things that go into the pursuit of fish.